and welcome to Dance Bugs. Today we are doing the advanced cartwheel movements, okay? There are two different variations that you can then push your dancers and gymnasts to do after they've mastered the sideways and the front to back cartwheel. They are a one-handed cartwheel and also starting to get the preparations for an aerial, so a whipping cartwheel. The first one we're going to look at is a one-handed cartwheel. So you want your gymnast to stand as the stay for a sideways cartwheel, so like a big starfish, okay? Then you can either have your dancer hold their hip for a one-handed, or they can hold their arm in like this. But what we don't want to see is when they actually do their rotation, the arm come out, because it makes the movement look a little bit messy, and we need it to be nice and tight and tidy. Okay, same for this normal sideways cartwheel, we're going to support the same way. So you bring your hand up, we make sure we have the L, we're going to just turn the hand into the hip like this. Then you always then grab the opposite hip with your hand. Remember, we don't come into the gymnast, they come to us. We wait for them to start their movement and then come in, because it might stop their motion, and then again, we're then pulling all their weight up and over for the cartwheel. So we're going to start with a one-handed cartwheel. Off we go, Eve. Well done. As you can see, that was a fantastic sideways cartwheel with one hand. We're going to do it again, Eve, this time, but this time I'd like you to try and get over a lot quicker, so start this side for me. That's it, well done. Good job. So now we're going to start again, and we're going to go into it really fast. There we go. Well done. The second variation for an advanced cartwheel is something called a whipping cartwheel. So this is where you really want to start to make sure that they're whipping their legs over, so they then eventually can be able to take their hands off the floor and do a full rotation of an aerial. But what we need to do first of all is take it back to just a normal sideways cartwheel. So just ask your gymnast to just do a normal sideways cartwheel, just a normal sideways cartwheel for me. Well done. Making sure they've got their foundations, stretched knees, pointed toes, and can start in their starfish. Then what you're going to do is you're going to step in, okay? Again, let them start their rotation before you come in. Then for this movement, you only actually use one of your hands, okay? And the hand you're going to use is the one closest to the leg again. With this, you don't hold at the hip, you start to go onto their thigh, okay? So you're hitting here. What I need you to do, thank you, stand up, good girl, is we're going to then push that leg up and over. You're giving them a little bit of a motion to push them all the way over. What you don't want to do is give them too much for their first turn, that they don't end on their feet, they then land on their bum because you've given them too much. You're better off starting with a little push and then building it into the full rotation once you know how much you need to give to your gymnast. So we're going to start off with just a little push to start with. So I'm just going to tap Eve's leg slightly, and then we'll do a second one where I'm really giving her a good push over. Okay, off we go. Well done. And again. Ready? A nice big whip this time, so I'm really going to push Eve this time. Off we go, quick. Yeah? So what we need to do is to make sure a bit of an in-between. So the first one wasn't enough. The second one I probably gave Eve a little bit too much, so I'm going to tone it down now. So as a teacher, I know Eve doesn't need that much of a push. So we're now going to do a second time. Off we go. And that was just the right amount. Well done. Again, what you can see is that I'm still catching on the end, because sometimes you might whip them and they might go too far out. So you just want to make sure you guide them so they're not going to fall over at the end of their cartwheel. So now we're going to try Eve by herself doing the whip. What you need to see is her really pushing off this first leg really fast, making sure she's got that rotation. If she's going too slow, she's never going to be able to have the movements to be able to take her hands off for an aerial. Off we go. Show the whip, Eve. Good girl. One more, a bit faster. Get that whip really in the air for me. Off we go. Yes, much better. Well done. So those are the two advanced cartwheel movements you can do. We've got the one-handed and we've got the whipping cartwheel that will lead you to an aerial.